Hello and welcome to Seesaw PD in your PJs. Tonight we are talking about math plus engagement equals Seesaw. We're really excited to have fourth grade teacher Mara Delgado with us here tonight. Before we begin, just so you know, you will get a recording of this presentation if you have registered for it. That will come to you via email with the slides as well. So if you are watching the recording, and you want the slides, you just need to go to our website, web.seesaw.me/PDS, and you have all sorts of goodies there for you. But I am going to pass this presentation over to Mara. She's got some amazing slides for you here tonight. And you can also type in questions in the question box. I'm Angela, by the way, from Seesaw. If you don't already know me, Mara, looking good. I'm seeing your slides, getting ready. Just push that present button right next to the my icon, I guess, showing up on your screen. There you go. We'll be ready to roll.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Mara Delgado. I am in Florida, about 45 minutes east of Orlando in a city called Lake Mary. I've been teaching for about 18 years. I am a Seesaw ambassador and a Nearpod certified author. I'm also a mom of a 15-year-old son, a 13-year-old daughter. I'm a wife, a doctoral student, and I got into Seesaw and everything else that I do because I love technology. I love integrating it into my classroom. So this presentation is about how I use Seesaw in my math classroom, and then I went ahead and got examples from other grade levels, from other teachers, so that I could show examples that weren't just fourth grade. So here we go. So this first example is, oops, I think I just left my little thing there. Hold on, there we go. This first example is I uploaded the file, and my picture simply had the bar model. We use Singapore math in our school. So I had the bar model. I didn't have any numbers or anything on it. And then I put a caption with the directions for the kids. So it said, create a word problem that can be represented by this model, and then label all the parts of the model and solve your problem. So my kids use the draw tool and the text box tool to go ahead and write out their word problem and then work it out. And then they put it on Seesaw, and they could each see each other's problems and comment on it and try to solve them as well. It was kind of cool. So this is the way that you would do this: is the teacher uploads the file, and then when the children go into Seesaw, they would find the picture uploaded by the teacher, and then they would hit the three dots and they would hit the copy and edit. And then that would prepare one under their name. They'd select their name and they click on the green check mark. And then the three tools that they could use is they could draw, they could do a caption, or they could do the new text labels. So they could do text boxes and put them in the pictures wherever. So that's one example. That's something that I do in my room. This is a video, and this is simply a video taken with the iPad and uploaded to Seesaw. And this is a little cutie patootie in pre-K 3. So it's just a really cool way for parents to be able to see their kids actually doing stuff, what they're learning in the classroom. Gives them like a great, like they can hear him, it's not just a picture, so it kind of brings it to life. And again, that was using the video tool. This one is a little bit of app smashing. There's an app called iBrainstorm, and I came across this actually on Twitter one night. Someone was talking about it, so I downloaded the app and I looked at it. It's kind of a really cool app. It has different graphic organizers that you can select, and then the kids can use post-it notes to put information on it, or they can draw. They have a draw tool, or the post-it tool is like the text box. And then so I was doing at this moment factoring in my room. So I had the kids use the Venn, and I told them, you pick two numbers, any numbers you want, and I want you to come up with their factors and then the common factors, and then find the GCF between the two numbers. And then I told them once they were done, they had to write something, some kind of reflection or something that they about the activity that they had just completed. So for this one, they used the iBrainstorm app, and then they took a picture from that app on the and so it's on the camera roll, and then from the camera roll, and I explained that on the next slide. So you open the Brainstorm app, you select the graphic organizer, they add their information, and then they screenshot it, and then from the camera roll, you can add it to Seesaw, and then once they have it on Seesaw, they can add the caption to their picture, explaining whatever they want about their event or whatever graphic organizer you use, because they have different ones, like I said, all sorts of, they have some that are great for vocabulary words, and other ones that are 3 columns. So there's a whole bunch of different kinds that you can use. This is a picture of showing an addition fact using the cubes, and this was just a picture that was taken with the iPad right from Seesaw. So this was just focus, click, and that's it. And Seesaw even focuses for you and tells you to hold it still if you're not holding it still. So it's very helpful. So it's very easy to use for kids. This is another activity that I do in my classroom. So I found these hidden pictures, and my kids love them because after they finish doing whatever I ask them to do with them with math, then they get to find the hidden words in the picture, and there's usually 6 or 7 hidden words in the picture. So I upload the picture for them, and I put a caption on it and telling them what I want them to do. And then they copy and edit it. And then this particular student used audio. So he or she, I don't remember if it's a boy or girl, but they recorded their story. So I'm just gonna, so you can hear them.
One day, Carlos invited his friends to the movies, and he told people to bring $65.49. Carlos bought his ticket, and that was $25.49 out of the money he brought. He had $40 left for candy, popcorn, and soda with refills. Soda cost $10.50 for 3 refills for the movie. Carlos bought the soda and had.
So that's an example of how she used audio for that one. This was another one that I also uploaded, and this one I wanted them to do word problems using the picture, and they actually used the caption. So they had to write 2 word problems that they could create based on what they saw in the picture. So like this child said, you know, a group of 7 people walked into the pizza shop, and each of them got 8 pieces of pepperoni on their slice of pizza. How many pieces of pepperoni are there all together? And then the other problem was there are 9 customers in the shop. If each of them got 3 drinks, how many drinks are there all together? And then what they do is once they upload them, then the kids can see them, and then they can try to solve the problems, and it's kind of neat because they get to like talk about it, and then some of them are like, oh, this is so easy, you should have made it more difficult. So they give themselves constructive criticism, but they're also doing the math and answering the problems, and they have fun using the pictures, and then of course finding the hidden words in the pictures. This is an example of a drawing. So this is from a 5th grade class. They were asked to draw a picture of a problem with division and fractions. So they did 4 divided by half, and they had to draw the picture and then write a problem. And so they used a drawing tool. That's how they did their model drawing, and they wrote out their algorithm, and then they used a caption to write down the problems that they were showing how they had solved. So that's the draw tool. My kids love the draw tool because they can do anything on it. There's nothing keeping them from doing what they want because they can just pick up the pencil and do what they want to do with it. This is a video that you can take directly with your iPad using the video tool on Seesaw, and this was a student showing how to subtract.
So we have 452. We're subtracting 134. So it's 4 hundreds, 5 tens, and 2 ones. We can't do 2 minus 4, so you take a 10, turn it 3 tens ways, and then you add 10 ones. 12 minus 4 equal 8. Oh wait, yeah, cross it out.
So here's an example of the video tool. This is another example of drawing. We had just finished factors, products, and multiples, and this is actually the first time I tried to do this, and I was actually kind of impressed and found it kind of cool that the kids were able to go with my thinking, and it kind of worked out. I asked them to see if they could draw or somehow show me how the words factors, products, and multiples were related. And so this student, and I told them they had to draw something that showed, the relationship. And then I told them that they could either use the audio tool or the caption tool to explain their drawing. So this student drew 5 times 6 equals 30, and they used the audio, so they decided to record their explanation of their drawing.
Hello everyone, today I will be explaining to you how factors, products, and multiples are the same. So, in this drawing you can see that factors in this drawing are 5 and 6, and the product and the multiple is 30. So, factor times a factor, which is 5 times 6, equals 30, which is the product. And a factor times a factor is the multiple too, which means that the product is the multiple. So they're all related because they can also be shown in one number sentence. That's multiplication. Thank you. Hello everyone, today I will...
This is another one that that is an upload file. So I did the picture with the different kinds of lines, and then I uploaded the file or the picture with a text, and then I put a caption with the directions. So I wanted them to use text boxes to identify the different types of lines, and they had to label them as parallel, perpendicular, intersecting. So when the kids opened Seesaw, they found the one that I put in there, and they had to use a copy and edit. And then they used the text labels to create the text boxes and label the different lines. And for some of them, they found more than that one set of line was more than one type, so they went ahead and added more than one name to those lines. So it's an easy way for me to assess whether or not they understood the lines that we were talking about and the difference between them, and whether a set of lines can be more than one name. So makes assessing kids really, really easy when you can quickly put something up there and ask them to do something, and it's like right there. Like I can literally see it like within a second that they're done. This is documenting actual results. So at the end of a Nearpod presentation, the kids, if you do the assessment piece, they get to see like a pie graph of what they got right and what they got wrong. And then they can also, where it says my answers, they can check their answers. So when we finish one in class, I always ask the kids to take a picture of it and put it on Seesaw, and then I ask them to reflect on it. Like, did you think you did great? Did you think you could do better? Did you think you could study more? So this is an example of 2 different ones that we've done, and the kids just simply take a screenshot of that pie graph, and then they go on the camera roll, and they upload it through the camera roll tool on Seesaw, and then they just add a caption to it. And then we use Seesaw for our student-led conferences. So this is an easy way for the kids to document their progress and how they're doing. And then they can go back at the end of the year when they have their conferences with their parents, and they can pull up all this documentation that they have about what they learned and what they thought they could have done better, or what they think they did their best at. So this is an example of one of the pieces that we use for our conferences when they're talking about their accomplishments in math. This is another reflection piece. So this is an actual photo taken from Seesaw. So on Seesaw, they take the picture, and it was of a test that they had done on auto operations. And then I give them a feedback form that has the different standards that are covered in the test by question, and they say whether or not they understood it, they didn't understand it, was it a silly mistake, did they get it right, and then they write down their feedback in that box that you see on the right. They write like a reflection piece. So they can add the picture of that to their Seesaw, and then they can write something about it so that when they go to their student-led conference, they have it there and they can easily talk about it. So this is an example of that. So this is using the photo tool and then the caption tool as well. This is an example of showing, it's another documenting how they did. This is an actual in an actual like math notebook. So they did work problems and they were doing model drawing, and it's just the child took a picture of how well they did on it using the photo tool again on Seesaw. This is a photo that the teacher took, and it was showing that that he could do the one-to-one correspondence with Numicon and Snap Cues. So in pre-K, kindergarten, we use Numicon to teach the foundation of the number 10, and then that goes really well with our Singapore math program. So they were showing how you can do it more with Numicons and with Unifix cubes. And I personally like the way that the teacher wrote and printed with a little help. So the parent knows that, okay, he was able to do it. He just needed a little bit of help to get it done. So she used a photo, and then she used a caption to give more information about what the photo was showing. And then my last slide, which I thought was great, was one of our kindergarten teachers. She actually had, this was all under this was one piece. So she had two pictures together, and then she put the pictures there, and then she had a caption. And what she was doing was explaining to the parents what the kids were doing. So she was explaining what number line Play-Doh addition was. So her caption told the parents exactly what the kids did. Step 1, the students did this. Step 2, this is what they did. Step 3, and then she had pictures of the kids actually doing them, and you can see the number line on their desks with the little marble and the Play-Doh. And I thought it was a great way to communicate with the parents what exactly the kids are doing in the classroom, because sometimes the kids go home, well, I play with Play-Doh, math. Parents have no idea what a wonderful activity it is. But then the fact that she put it on Seesaw with pictures and the step-by-step, then a parent can go on Seesaw and see that and say, wow, look at what my child did. So I thought it was kind of cool the way that she explained what was actually going on in her class on Seesaw and posted it for her parents to see. So these are some examples of how we are using Seesaw in the math classroom. I also use QR codes, but I don't have any of those examples on here, and there's a couple of things, but I am more than happy to answer any questions if you have any questions about using Seesaw in the math classroom or any classroom for that matter. So
Fabulous. So yeah, let's open it up for questions right now. So those of you that are listening here live, go ahead and type into the question box things that you would like Mara or me to answer to try to tackle here tonight. We can spend a few minutes doing that. Mara, do you want to go back to one of your slides where it shows the copy and edit that you're doing? Yes. I want to talk about that briefly because I know there's always lots of questions surrounding using the copy and edit feature here as we're waiting for people to type in questions. Okay, so a couple things that I just want to let people know about. That one was actually a great one that you show with the lines. Perfect. So first of all, a couple of things about this. So this upload file option, you're only going to see that if you are signed in on the web. So if you're looking at your iPad and you're thinking, I don't see upload file, that would be camera roll on your iPad. But you do get upload file from the web. So one of the things you need to know is if you are adding an item via upload file, it needs to be an image if you want students to annotate on top of it. So sometimes teachers are like, oh, I'm going to add this awesome PDF that I've saved from here. The only thing that students can do with a PDF is add a caption, and they could talk over the first slide only. So keep that in mind. If you're adding content, it should be a picture if you want them to annotate on top of it. Okay. Second thing I just want to let you know about as well is this copy and edit feature. So first thing to know is you're only going to see that, students will only see that option if in your manage class settings you have turned on enable item editing. So that's kind of a common sticking point for some teachers. If you don't see copy and edit for students, it's because you don't have enable item editing turned on. The other thing to note about this copy and editing is when you add an item to Seesaw as a teacher and you don't tag anyone with the item, it will just show up in the class feed. So for students to be able to copy and edit from the class feed, they will need to have students can view each other's work turned on. That's the only way they're going to see that item in the class feed that's been added by the teacher. You could, though, however, if you don't have students can view each other's work turned on, you could tap the three dots under the item and go to print and then print the PDF with a QR code. Then if you print that out, students could scan that QR code with the built-in Seesaw QR reader, and that would take them, to that very selected item, and at that point they can go to copy and edit it from there. But again, they only have the copy and edit feature if they're scanning a QR code, if they're in the Seesaw class that the item was created in, and if they're using the built-in Seesaw QR reader. So I know I threw out lots of little tips there, and they're probably a little bit hard to follow, but hopefully that helps a little bit. Okay, so Dana wants to know, what other apps do you use to Smash? So obviously you've shared a lot here, but do you have any other favorites that you like to Smash with Seesaw?
The kids we use Google Drive, so the kids know how to use the Google Drive with the Seesaw. We use Book Creator. They keep their journals in Book Creator, and last year we even did comic books with math subjects, and they did it on Book Creator because Book Creator has like comic book templates that they can use. So they use that, and then they were able to put that on Seesaw. So they have fun with that. Let's see what else. We use Shadow Puppet. I've had kids in the past that have used Animoto, and then they upload the videos. It's just they have to keep track of how long it is because you can't put videos that are very, very long on Seesaw. Let's see what else have we used.
Well, that's a great list. If you're on our website or in our Facebook group, Seesaw Teachers, if you're not there yet, there's all sorts of sharing going on there. So definitely join that group, Seesaw Teachers on Facebook, if you're not there. Tracy has a question. She wants to know, is there a way to make it so children don't see each other's work? So I'm guessing there's two parts to this question. So number one, you could turn off in managed class settings, students don't see each other's work. Okay, so that's the basic way, but I'm maybe thinking you're thinking about items that they're submitting that are waiting for approval. So if you have maybe an exit ticket type of situation or a quick assessment you're doing and you don't want them to view the work until everybody has submitted it, you could just hold that in approvals, or if you have Seesaw Plus or Seesaw for Schools, you could also put that into your private teacher folder, which is another great option as well. All right, any more questions? Our questions are blank right now, so if you have any more questions, go ahead and type those in the next minute or so here. All right, so Dana has another question. Can you copy an assignment to another class? Oh, Dana, yes. So I actually just made a video all about that and put it in the Seesaw Teachers group because that's a question we get all the time. So the fast response is you can move an assignment to another class. However, they're not going to be able to copy and edit that item. It will be view only. So for example, if you're sharing a video or you're sharing a note or things that you just want students to view, works great. If you're on an iPad, you just tap the three dots and share, and then you'll just open Seesaw, and at the bottom there'll be a blue thing that says like change the class that you're in, and you would just select that and drop it in there. But you can, however, download items from a class, like an image or something, and then upload it to a different class, but you're basically kind of creating that item again. Mara, I don't know if you have any additional things to add to that.
I usually, when I do it, honestly, like if I'm gonna put a note for the kids, but it's a note that I want them to answer something, I'll just copy the original one that I put on one class, and then I just open the note in the other class and I just paste it. Because that way I don't have to worry about whether it's only view only or not view only. So usually I just go but I only have two different math classes, so it's not like I'm doing it for five classes. So I understand how if you teach several periods, that might get tedious. But for me, it's just easier just to go ahead and upload it to the two different classes. That way I know for sure that the kids can do what they need to do on it.
Awesome. All right. Catherine wants to know if you upload an image under everyone and students copy and edit that image, is it visible to all students? So I guess that's the trick there. So I usually avoid using that everyone button because if you're a teacher and you're adding that to everyone or even a student's journal, the family's going to be notified about that when maybe you're really just intending to, share that work with the student to respond to. So that's why I tend to just skip that. I leave that blank and then it's just added by this, the teacher in the feed. So if you copy and edit that item, you're basically, when a student copies and edits that item, they're making their very own copy. So no one else sees that. Unless, of course, you have students can view each other's work turned on and it gets approved and it ends up in the feed view. So Catherine, let me know if that answers that question or clarifies that a little bit for you. All right. Ruth wants to know if a student uploads work to the wrong class, how can they get the assignment to the correct class? Okay, so the best tip for that is you probably, if you're uploading it to the wrong class, that teacher would probably need to download it from that class once it's approved to get it into another class. I think that occasionally happens at the beginning when students are working with Seesaw, or if they're a student in multiple classes and are checking first the class that they're in. That can get a little bit tricky. I guess that would be my first tip for that is I think you would have to, get it basically connect with that teacher to get that item shared. The teacher could share it back via the three dots and share the link, and then you could add that link to the class after the fact. All right, so we are out of questions. Mara, I want to thank you for coming tonight and sharing some tips with us. Make sure you check out the Seesaw Teachers group on Facebook if you're not already there, and make sure to follow Seesaw on Twitter as well. But stay tuned, and I hope you join us for our next PD and PJs. Check out our website for more info about that. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great night.